This is the MagBak iPhone 16 Pro Max Elite Case. This is going to be with the camera control, so this is a newer version of their Elite Case that came out last year. I do want to mention this is a sponsored video by MagBak. Thank you for sending this out to me, and this is truly my honest opinion of what I think about this case. Here, what we're gonna have is a really different type of case than what I'm traditionally used to, especially on this channel. So let's get in first with what's different. So traditionally, your cases would just be a regular case with MagSafe rings, and that's about it. That's pretty much all of the cases I've reviewed, but this is something a little bit different. So here you have multiple features that you don't traditionally get on a case. Let's start off with the first thing. You're gonna have the little finger loop here on the back of the case, and it's made of a nice silicone material where you place your finger and then you're able to carry your phone like this, so it's easier to use one-handed. That's a really neat feature. Another thing here is you have this little pillow here, as they call it, the pinky pillow. This pillow here, or dust cover, is pretty much a little addition to the case where when you place your finger on the bottom, especially if you're using a bigger phone like the 16 Pro Max, I like resting the phone always on my pinky finger, and this allows me to have more cushioning when using this case. It does two things. One is being a cushion for your pinky, and the other is being an actual dust cover, since it has a little protruding thing outward where it goes into the USB-C port to protect the USB-C port from dust. So it's cool that that opening is pretty much closed off. You don't have to worry about dust through the camera control, since you have the camera control button built into the case, and you don't have to worry about another opening there. Speaking of the openings, you do have two additional openings on both sides for lanyard holes. If you want to use a lanyard on your case, you can do that of your choice. You can do either the left or the right bottom side. So that's another cool addition here that you have. The next thing here I want to mention is the kickstand. So this thing has a magnetic closure for the kickstand, and then you have 2 degrees of kickstand. So it depends on how far you want to use this thing, and you can use it either in portrait mode or you can do it in landscape. So it just depends on how you want to use the kickstand with this case. The third thing I want to mention here are the magnets. So it does have a magnetic ring for MagSafe that you traditionally have in any other case, but then they also have telescoping magnets on the sides. So if you've never heard of MagBak before, you have a little mag stick that you can place somewhere with 3M. It's included with this case. For example, if you want to put it on your dashboard of your car or somewhere on your desk where you want to prop this phone up, you can do so by sticking that mag stick and then putting this phone case onto that mag stick. However, here you also have really strong magnets in 3 different places. So these magnets are not traditional magnets that you would find like on a regular MagSafe ring. What's happening here is they're telescoping, so they pretty much come outwards as soon as you get close to a metal surface. So if you want to prop this up on gym equipment, or you want to prop it up on a metal table like a workbench if you're working, then this allows you to do so, since those magnets come out to get the perfect connection with the magnetic strength that the case offers. So that is extremely neat here, but that doesn't ruin your MagSafe strength. The MagSafe strength is really good as well, so that's not something you need to worry about when using this case, whether you're gonna be able to use MagSafe or not. It does not interfere in any way. I'm able to charge this on my MagSafe chargers, whether it be on my desk here or my nightstand. It always works with MagSafe with no issues. The next thing I want to talk about is the customization options that you have. So this case either comes in black or white. However, when I first got it, it came with a fully black case and black buttons and different black designs. When I say the different black designs, meaning that this little finger loop was black, and then also the trim on the camera, and then also on the sides. I changed all of these to gray. They did send me out 2 additional colors, the gray and the red, and I really like black and gray as a combination, more of a neutral choice in my opinion. And you can choose different colors that they offer on the site that you can buy, the little accessory packs. So these accessory packs include the side pieces, the buttons, the pinky pillow, the finger loop, and also the camera ring. So you can change all of those things out. It does take a little bit of time. I was playing with it, especially when I'm switching out from the black to the gray color here, and I can tell you that you kind of get used to it after a while. They're easy to take out, but then they are pretty interesting to put back in, meaning that it just takes a little bit of time and patience to get those in perfectly again. But of course you can customize, and you don't have to keep it all in one color. Let's say you bought multiple accessory packs, you can switch them out to different colors if you would like. The actual case is really protective. The corners of each side of the phone stay really snug with the case. I don't see it coming off in any way. They have tested this for drop protection, and it seemed pretty good from their videos. And I won't be testing it, of course. You know, there's probably a bunch of people that drop test their phones, but I'm definitely not one of them. So the next thing I want to mention here is the screen protector. So the screen protector on this case can be applied with the box. So the box is a built-in screen protector guide. Traditionally, you might get a screen protector with a plastic piece that you place on top of the phone. It helps guide you with the installation process. However, this case comes in a box that actually is also a guide for your screen protector install. The screen protector is inside the box already, so you pretty much have a 2-in-1 solution here for your phone protection. You have the screen protector and the case for the price point that you're paying. This thing does go for $80, so it is quite of a hefty price point. However, you are getting multiple features here with this case than a traditional case. So if you're used to getting a separate kickstand or a separate finger loop through MagSafe, then of course this pretty much has everything built in, and it does it in such a slim form factor that doesn't interfere with the daily use of this case. Even if the finger loop is kind of protruding outwards and not all the way in, the moment you put in the MagSafe ring for charging, then you have no issues with it charging through MagSafe. Same goes for the kickstand. The kickstand can be easily pushed back up with the magnet and it sticks right on. The only interesting part here is that the magnet is kind of tiny. I hope that it lasts for a while where the actual magnet is holding the kickstand in place, but doesn't seem like an issue right now at all. I just find it really interesting that you have all of these features built into this case without having to get all of these additional accessories. And the fact that you have the ability to customize it and how you want to customize it is a great thing. So when you remove this little dust cover or pinky pillow, you have a bigger opening that helps out a lot with any third-party USB-C cables. Especially with the iPhone being so sophisticated with USB-C for the newer generations, you can use little USB-C hard drives and different accessories. So those all have different plugs, and having a bigger opening here, which is a little bit wider than traditional cases. Usually case manufacturers kind of want to stick to just the USB-C opening. However, here MagBak has even included the opening screws on both sides, which gives you more space to use those third-party cables, and you shouldn't be running into any issues with like a more squared off design on a USB-C cable. So it's really neat that you have that option. The other thing I want to mention is that the speaker holes are cut out precisely, so you have no issues with the actual speakers. The action button is also covered, and these buttons are really clicky, so you pretty much have the ability to click them and know exactly what you're doing. Here's a little sound test of each of the buttons. Like I said, extremely clicky, shouldn't have an issue pressing any of these buttons at all. And even the little side pieces on the left and right side with the silicone, those are really nice to have a nice grip of the case. Since the black version, it seems like it does kind of get those fingerprints and oils, especially after using it for a while. I did clean mine off a little bit, of course, for this video, but overall, the case does get that oil. So you want to make sure that you have good grip. And with these little protruding pieces on the side that are made out of silicone really help out. And this is something that I really enjoy as well with having a case with these little borders. Especially if you're using it one-handed, you kind of want to make sure that you have that good grip. But of course, you do have that protection on all four sides. So I don't really worry about the drop protection at all with this case. This case does have more of a squared off design. So if you're used to just having the case follow the actual curvature and corners of the phone, this one's a little bit more different where you get a more rectangle look to the phone because of the fact that this case kind of comes inward towards the screen, and then it has those straight-sided corners. A little bit curvature to the corners, but it's more of a rectangle design for the phone. So it makes the phone look a little bit bigger than what you might be used to in any other case. So that's just something else to keep in mind here. The other thing here I want to mention is their MagBak wallet. So it's pretty neat as well. They have a leather wallet that they offer, and this thing magnetically sticks to the back of the phone. It uses the magnets in the case and also the MagSafe ring, and it gives you the ability to put up to 9 cards in here. In the beginning, it is kind of stiff. The leather is pretty tight, so you can only include a couple of cards. But over time, the more cards you put in here, it kind of becomes more loose, and you're able to put in more cards with this wallet. The other cool part here is that since you're using the wallet on the back of the phone and you're losing your little finger loop of the case, when the wallet's on the back of the phone, you can use this little loop here. It's made out of leather as well, and you can hold the wallet with the phone the exact same way you would use the actual finger loop on the back of the case. So you have so many features here with the different accessories that they work with. This also works as a kickstand, which is pretty interesting. All you need to do is just prop it up on a side and you can use it as a kickstand. If you don't want to use their built-in kickstand of the case, then you can also use it with your MagSafe wallet. As a first timer for a MagBak user here, I can tell you that there's a lot of things that surprise me with this case and this wallet, where you have the ability to use it for different functions instead of just a case for protection. A lot of these things I personally have different accessories for, so being the finger loop or the actual kickstand, and I always carry those in my backpack if I want to use them. For example, if I'm watching something while eating, I want to use a MagSafe ring with a kickstand. So these are all built into the case, so you don't have to worry about those extra accessories. Just carry the phone with the case, and then you pretty much have all of those here built in. The case is pretty neat. I hope that it does hold for a long time, but I'm really glad that I'm able to test this thing, especially with the new camera control, since that, as you know, is a big deal for some people. You don't want to have another place where you have an opening for the camera control, and the fact that you have a camera control here that works the exact same way with the different gestures for opening the camera, changing the functions of the camera. You have the ability to do all of that with the built-in camera control, and it just makes the case feel a lot better with everything built in here. If you have additional questions about this case, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to get to them as quick as I can. I'll leave links to them as well in the description and in the comment section if you want to check out the actual case and the MagBak wallet. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Zanif Tech is out.